multi-sig and hardware wallets at the same time. The first demo by Domenico is about the green wallet by Blockstream used with one hardware wallet and a multi-sig 2 or 3 solution. So you will be able to see, this is something that will be the same also for the other presentation. You will be able to see on the screen, this great screen that is like amazing, both the output of the PC and the people actually playing with toys that we are going to illustrate during the conference. So, Domenico.
Thank you. Screen output.
Scam. Scam, okay. So, the screen, the big screen will switch between the content of the computer and the actual actions on the Android device.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? So, thank you for being here, and I hope you will have a great conference and an opportunity to learn many things about the tools and best practices. So I'm Domenico and I work at Blockstream, and I'm going to show a short demo about the Blockstream Green wallet, our wallet, with some tips and best practices to enhance your settings. So the wallet is a non-custodial wallet, meaning that you have your keys, and so the bitcoins are actually yours. And it's a multi-sig wallet, meaning that multiple keys are required to spend. It's open source and cross-platform, and it was one of the first, if not the first, wallet to implement multi-sig and P2SH. And the main feature of the wallet is the two-factor authentication. So the methods that we support are email, SMS, phone call, and Google Authenticator. Two-factor authentication allows you to spend your bitcoins both controlling your keys and passing the two-factor authentication. Basically, you will be provided with 6-digit codes via one of the methods listed, and if you pass the authentication process, you can spend. One of the keys is held by the user and the other by the servers. And the best practices to use the wallet are to enable multiple two-factor authentication methods, because if you lose one, you can access the other one and disable the one you lost. And I recommend using them not on the same device, so different devices. And one other tip that I can give is to back up the Google Authenticator key so you can restore it on another device in case you lose it. So we have two kinds of accounts in the wallet, 2 of 2 accounts and 2 of 3 accounts. 2 of 2 meaning that 2 signatures are required to spend, and 2 of 3 accounts, 2 out of 3 signatures are required to spend. 2 of the keys are held by the user. So one of the keys is actually a recovery key that the user has to back up and keep safe in case the service becomes unavailable. So he can, at any point in time, spend if the server is not collaborative or shut down or whatever. And as maybe we will see this on Sunday with practical demos, there's no need for email for the recovery of the wallet, which is instead a requirement for the 2 of 2 setup. And you can set it up from the desktop app. In fact, I will show you guys here how to set it up. First screen here. Can't find the pointer. Okay. So I will access my wallet, testnet wallet, with a PIN. This is not an example of best practice, a 4-digit PIN, so please don't do that. So how to create a 2 of 3 accounts? You have to go to settings and scroll down. These are the two-factor authentication methods you can enable. And you get to 2 of 3 accounts. You give it a name. You tap create. And let's give it a different name. So, at this moment you will be provided with all you need for wallet recovery. So this information is very important. You have to defend it with your life. You have to store it safely offline and on a secure device or on a secure location. So the first one is our mnemonic passphrase, what was referred in the previous panel as the number. And this one is the recovery key I was mentioning before. The third one is the public key that the server uses to generate the addresses. So it's per user, and it's also required for recovery. So keep this information safe, please. And then we will go on with the demo. Hardware wallets. So we support Ledger Nano S and Trezor One. You can use it with the wallet, mobile apps and desktop app you've just seen. You can take advantage of two-factor authentication and keeping your keys offline with other wallets. We have Trezor T support coming soon in the next update of the Android app, because iOS doesn't support hardware wallet yet, but soon, hopefully. And let's see a demo of hardware wallets on Android. Okay. Okay, so first plug in the hardware wallet. And you will be prompted for a PIN number. Please don't do what I'm doing. There's no money on it, so. Select the Bitcoin app and log in. Okay, so you can explore your accounts here. You can go around and first thing is setting up two-factor authentication. This is what I was talking about earlier. To back up the dual authenticator, you need to back up this key here. It's very important so that you can restore it on other devices. And we have some SPV settings here that we will see in a bit. Well, okay, let's go on with the demo. So we can actually connect with Tor to keep our privacy using the wallet. On Android, you need to run Orbot in parallel in order to connect with Tor. So you download the Tor app and you tap the onion. Wait for it to connect.
Prova a attaccare la
Okay, we are connected. So now we have to tweak some settings here. In order to connect. So we will enable Tor, and we will use the Orbot app as our proxy. So we're doing some work in requiring less configuration from the user to take advantage of the privacy feature, minimizing user configuration. Okay, so we'll plug in again the other wallet. What? Same process as before, except this time we are keeping our privacy. You can switch. Okay. So, you are trusting us in some way because you're not verifying, but we can see some best practices using the wallet to minimize the trust you put in the service. You can connect to your own node over Tor and in SPV mode. So SPV we know that is not recommended for anything, but you can use it if you're syncing your own node at home. So you trust that you are verifying at home all the history on the blockchain. And so you can connect to your own personal node. This is useful because you will verify that the service is not lying to you about your transactions and your balance. So let's see an example of minimized trust with connecting locally with an AB core node pre-synced with an SD card. What we did was verifying the blockchain on a node we trust, our node, and then put the data on an SD card and use it with AB core to connect with the wallet. So there will be another demo going in much details about AB core. I will just show you how to connect to your own instance locally. So let's see where we are. Okay. Let's give him some time to warm up. In the meantime, we can log in and see how to tweak the settings to connect to it. Come on. Okay. So we go to settings and we enable the SPV mode, but with some tweaking. Since we want to verify ourselves, we modify and we insert an IP port of our localhost. Sorry about that. So these are the standard parameters for Bitcoin, the standard port to use. And it tells you, wait, you're not using a .onion address, so keep your own privacy. But we are, because we are connecting locally. So we should come up here as peers of our node. Maybe let's reset it. Here we are. No, wait, it's not us. Okay, it's starting. Started to download the headers to verify the balance and minimize the trust in Blockstream Green servers. So if you have any questions.
Well, in the meantime, I wanted to just remind you that everything he is doing here and everything the other demos are doing here, you can do it not right now in real time, but you can do it on Sunday on a room that we will prepare just for that. And all the demos will be there in order to help you replicate the steps here. So now you have to follow this without reproducing real time, of course. Try to understand what is going on as much as you can, and then we will try to replicate with all the interesting attendees the same kind of settings with all the time in the world from 10 to 6 p.m. on Sunday. Of course, you will miss this beautiful Mediterranean climate.
Questions?
Some questions? Can I ask you to go to the mic as before? Thank you.
No, it doesn't. No.
So the question was...
so the question was if the setup with AB Core, verifying using SPV with your own node on AB Core, works in pruned mode, and no, it doesn't. So we had to use an SD card to have the full blockchain on it, and to be able to verify.
One of the demos in the afternoon will be about setting up the AB Core full node. So if you wonder what is this magical full node on your phone, Udi will explain that in a demo during the afternoon. Francis?
Generally, do you see the space of full nodes and mobile going towards the mobile being a remote control for a full node at home, or actually running the full node on the device? And what's your thoughts on the trade-offs between the two?
So I think that performance-wise, it's obviously easier to connect remotely because the sync time is far lower. But with AB Core, you can easily do it on Wi-Fi while charging on a low-end device. So in the future, you think the full nodes are going to be on the phone? Yes, yes, or both. I mean, it depends on what are your needs. I personally use it on my mobile device, a low-end device, 150 euros. It took a while to sync, but it's nice to have it on my pocket. Well, I wouldn't use my friend's blockchain. I would use mine. So I've already dedicated resources to verifying everything. So I think it's a good compromise.
Yes. I want to ask you. In the beginning, I'm here. Yeah. In the beginning, you created like that second kind of account. And you had all those information on your display, and I want to ask you if having all those informations on the display is safe.
Well, those are information that are vital for you to recover the coins in case the service becomes unavailable. So one thing we could do is integrate it maybe in multiple QR codes rather than having to write them down, but mnemonics are better write down, I think.
Yeah, I mean, when you start the Trezor, you have all the passphrase on the display of the Trezor, not on the laptop.
Yeah.
So, is it safe having those kind of information on a laptop?
You have to trust the device, but I suggest, I mean, the thing with two-factor authentication is that you can, provided you have a backup and you use the two-factor authentication on a different device from the one which stores the key, you have an additional layer of protection. So it's a compromise, depends on what are your needs, but the important thing is to keep the things separate to avoid single points of failures, to, you know.
Okay, so by two devices you mean like one where you have your main operations and another device which you use like just for that?
One device which I use to log in with a PIN in the wallet, and another device to which the two-factor authentication codes are sent to. So I can split the two things and keep providing that I don't have malware on both, of course.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that if you don't have a hardware wallet, it's inevitable that you will see those words on your device because that's all you have. But if you have a hardware wallet, you can do that completely offline, and your laptop will never see those words, so you will never see the private keys. All it sees is you know, the public information, like your public keys or your XPub, or you know, what is needed in order to send coins to it.
Yeah, to clarify what you have seen here, basically he is using a 2 of 3. So there are 3 keys involved. One is on the server of Blockstream. The other 2 are for the user. One of the keys was displayed on the device because it was not on another wallet. The other key was in another wallet. So you didn't see the key on the other wallet displaying on the device. You have seen the other key because it's 2 of 3. 2 in the hands of the user and 1 in the hand of the service.
Yes, that was because for the demo he logged in on the desktop app without the hardware wallet. If he was using the hardware wallet, you would only see 1.
Okay, we are done. If no other question, we can one question. No, okay. So we can move to the other demo. Thank you very much.